They ran away like the town was on fire. They're cowards. Wangler's none too happy. Oh, you a warrior now? Let me know when you head up to fight the monsters. Welcome, travelers of the internet, to Bright Helm Recording. This is your host, Master Barkle, playing the Pillars of Eternity. And last we left off, we went through the Abbey of the Fallen Moon, Andra's temple. And we found Abaddon, the god, at this spot, the reliquary. And within his face and kind of his mouth area, this rock here, the meteor, essentially there was fragments of his hammer, and we need to go and reforge his hammer so that we can put a stop to the Eyeless, because Andra cannot just simply call them off. Travel directly to the foundry in Durgan's Battery. Wow, we could just go the whole bloody way. Heavy stones block the hall.
Not a problem.
I don't remember those being there. We may want to head back to Canoe to have a rest too.
A simple test. That's settled.
Alrighty. Wheels and levers from minecarts lay scattered. We got some more iron. Sweet. There's more iron over here. Yeah. Eye-watering heat wafts from the mouth of the White Forge. Incredible heat ripples upward from the White Forge and laps against your exposed skin. The fragment of Abaddon's hammer grows warm in your hands, as if in recognition. It is only a fraction of the size of the original, but there is metal enough to create a hammer fit for a person of your size to wield. In this forge, the fragment could be shaped anew. A person of my size, eh? Let's create that. You call to mind every memory you have witnessed of the great hammer. The images coalesce and take shape in your mind's eye. You know every curve, every engraving, even as a shapeless lump of metal. You can see the fragment for what it is meant to become. The fragment is slow to heat, even in the White Forge, and quick to cool as you work it against the anvil. Sweat drizzles down your body and puddles at your feet. Your arm grows sore with each swing of your forge hammer until you can barely lift it. Minutes turn to hours. As Abaddon's hammer begins to take shape, the ring of your own hammer against it takes on a familiar tone, one that you have heard in your dreams. With each strike, an image flashes in your mind. It is hazy at first, but it gains detail as the hammer begins to resemble the original. Over time, the image becomes a frozen landscape centered around a crater lake. Eyeless patrol its frozen surfaces in droves. And this can only be the place Andra described, Karen Scar. The eyeless pause here and there when you strike and look up as though hearing the echo on the wind. They're scared. In the distance, as more details appear, you can see other landmarks. Stalwart, Durgan's Battery, and you understand where the lake lies in the White March, where you must take this hammer. Finally, with the careful etching of the last detail with your chisel, the hammer is completed. No sooner do you make the final mark than you feel pure, radiant energy pulsing from within it like a mechanical heartbeat. There is an indescribable beauty to the shape and the weighting and the design. It feels as if this is the realization of the metal's purpose. You take up the hammer and its power rushes over you in waves, and it shakes your body so hard you nearly drop to your knees. The tremor passes, but the surge of power remains. The hair on your arms stand on end. In your hands is a faithful recreation of a divine instrument.
careful with the weapons of the gods, Watcher. They seldom come without strings.
I've heard enough.
Sounds of an argument reach you from the stairs. Darien marches into the room, arms crossed, while Wengra bounds along behind him.
She's right. We've got to fight together.
You also recognize Adaric following them. His shoulders are rigid and his arms are clasped in front of him. Wengra sees you and points enthusiastically.
See, Darien? He'll tell ya. We can stop him!
Tension crackles in the air. Darien whirls and cuts Wengra off with a chopping motion.
If he's seen them, he knows better.
What?
Something killed a whole crew of hunters out in the wood. Tore them apart like dolls, insects.
Yeah, that'd be the Eyeless. Despite his steady posture, his eyes flit and flicker like flies, and his upper lip shines with sweat.
Something like the creatures that attacked my fort, perhaps?
I told ya! All we gotta do is get him in range of these cannons, and then we blast him!
We blast them! I like that idea.
We don't even know what they are.
I do. They are known as the Eyeless.
What's your plan for dealing with them exactly?
I'll face them. Wengra and Darien gape at each other in disbelief.
That lake's notorious! Folk never come back from that...
She breaks off, her eyes suddenly wide.
Oh!
You'll need all the help you can get. I have fewer men to offer than I would like, but the iron flail stands ready. Our siege weapons are at your disposal.
I don't need you.
The same ones you threw at the battery's walls?
Wait, did you launch an attack on them? Bruh.
These Eyeless will come for us all if they aren't stopped here and now.
Forget it. You're not bringing your army into our backyard. Tell him.
We need to work together, you know. Adaric stays, and that's final.
Sorry, you're right. Adaric won't get any trouble from us.
Good. What, no voice actor there? We'll assemble at Kayron Scar and await your orders. Be ready, my friend. It will be a great battle. Bows slightly and steps away.
Ahem.
Yep.
You know, if you could ready those heavy cannons, I might could back you up with some extra firepower.
Oh, yeah? I sent a crew to the tower, but they came back complaining about Skullthrak and other nasties. They took Gulmar's leg off.
If those things are on the move, we don't have much time. If you're really gonna stop them, take this. It's the best of the ore we've pulled from Stalwart's mines.
Alrighty.
It's not much, but it's good enough to make the old Pargrunen smiths proud. I'm sorry about what I said before. Just don't take it out on the rest of the village.
I won't. But cannons sound nice. Alrighty. It's a big ol' hammer. Of might +4. Yeah, bind that hammer. Well, that's a pretty simple. So, we need to get up to the western tower to get those cannons going. Great Hall? I don't know. Let's go to Great Hall. Alrighty. Oh, hey, they're reworking everything. A bronze statue of Abaddon stands over incense, ash, and rusted metal tokens. Black powder. Handle with care. Yeah. Still, it's coming along. At least there's no more ghosts around. Heavy stones block the hall. Why did you guys cause cave-ins?
A simple test.
Doesn't make any
That's
sense to me.
settled. A simple test. That's settled.
Oh hey, they didn't really mess with this room, did they? Uh-huh. That's a thing. There's still traps everywhere.
I can do that. That's settled. I can do that. That's settled.
What's going on here? They ran away like the tower was on fire. They're cowards. Wangler's none too happy. Oh, you a warrior now? Let me know when you head up to fight the monsters. This cot smells smoky, stained with black powder and ash. Under the pillow are a child's crude charcoal drawings. And more stones blocking hallways. Goodness gracious. Large streaked pots and dirty cups are stacked next to a note. I cook, you wash. Well, okay. It's a weird arrangement. Everything started shaking. Thought the ceiling would collapse on me. Unnatural, these tremors. We shouldn't have disturbed this place. It's a tomb. This is the way up to the western pot. Or urn. My bad. Is this the way to the east? West? I'm pretty sure it's west. Sure is good seeing you. Nobody's been able to push those monsters out of the towers. Okay, I'll do it. Skulldrack. It's not too difficult. West Tower. Wow, it's kind of cold in here. Jeez. Someone turn on some heat?
Laying low.
There's probably going to be some traps in here. I'm a little confused. I wasn't expecting little baby dragon.
Be on quick and quiet.
A simple test. That's settled.
Uh-huh. So they got like forges up here for cannonballs, maybe? That's kind of cool. Like, it's a way to ensure you'll never run out of ammunition, I guess. But I feel like it'd get real warm in this room real quickly.
A simple test.
A lever request. This note is written in fine script. The lever for the artillery lift is broken again. I've been telling my men to be as careful as possible while using the lift, but it's difficult to keep your balance on the thing. One bad bump nearly sent a handful of them off the edge. I'd rather they break a lever to keep it balanced and fall off. Unfortunately, it was a clean break this time. We'll need this lever as soon as possible. Scrolled across the bottom in thick ink is an additional note. If your men stopped taking so much ammunition at a time, this wouldn't be a problem. This will be the last lever you ever get. Next time, you're just getting a rammer. Uh-huh.
This I haven't seen before.
The cannons are cold as ice and banded by angular patterns and prayers to Abaddon. There's the lever. Well, I don't need to follow no stinking rules on levers for elevators, lifts.
Let us compete to see who can breathe this poison the longest.
Durance is pretty good at drinking poison.
Been poisoned.
Yeah, he don't like it. Okay. So opal and pearl. They got a nest in here. That's
See
why they're
now
here.
what the flame has shown us?
Wow. So why did the Skuldrak establish a nest here? Were they probably just crawling through chasms here and there, and then they just decided to break through the wall, I guess? I don't really know. It looked like that was the lift there. Artillery lift notice. The artillery lift will be closed until further notice. The cogs are rusting and any failure in the mechanism could be catastrophic. Potion Master Andrin is looking into patinating the cogs to make them weatherproof. I think I pronounced that right. The map shows the peaks and passes surrounding Durgan's battery. Faded red circles mark choke points.
Light, flame, and sound.
I will walk unseen.
Goodness. That's a dwarven grimoire. There's the cannon range key. Whatever that means. Maybe it's that one place I can unlock stuff. This page seems to be from some larger texts. We now have a treatment to prevent our prized cannons from rusting outside. Potion Master Andrin developed a solution that seals the metal, protecting it from cold air. We've transformed the old armory into a patination chamber, where we can heat the solution into a gas. As the gas suffuses the chamber, it'll build up a hard coating on the cannons. After a few weeks, the cannons will be ready for the elements. However, we must be careful around the solution. One of Andrin's assistants scalded her throat just from breathing too close to the stuff. The rest of the manuscript has fallen apart over time. Okay. So is that what that poisonous gas was? It was just solution? Okay. We got outside over there. We've also got some unwanted guests in here. Any traps over here, huh? Nope.
I can do that. That's settled.
Andrin's notes. Who knew a creature as disgusting as this disease pudding could be so useful? Their ability to not only prevent metals from rusting, but to remove rust entirely, is astounding. I can only imagine what sorts of contraptions we can devise without having to worry about exposing iron to the elements. As always, I get ahead of myself. Finding these creatures is already a chore. Keeping them properly contained is nearly impossible. I was lucky to acquire what few I have. What, do the dwarves just not question anything the potion master says? So like, well, it's working. Yellow gelatinous residue lines the bottom of the broken tube. I use a
And the
chest here
fire shows me something
with a
new.
trap. They almost got me. A vent pick. You peer through the hole and see a wide, sturdy parapet running along the wall. Several feet along the wall, you also see a broad crack. It appears to lead to another room. Wind whistles by your ears. The peaks of the White March rise below you and continue into the distance. Alright, I'll go down there. I don't care. You sidle across the ledge. You reach the crack in the wall. A noxious, eye-watering vapor seeps from within. Ah, yeah. I got a big old hammer. Bash! Pound on the wall. It's taxing work, and by the time the wall starts to give, your shoulder flares with pain. Ancient masonry crumbles away, and a stinging vapor rushes through the breach. It's alright. At least I didn't use that hammer and chisel. You hold your breath and close your eyes, clinging to the wall as the rest of the gas escapes. Well, let's enter that room now. A pile of cogs. Patinated cog. Ah, this is the disease puddings. My guess is they got out of containment. These cannons are encrusted with thick, pungent slime. Okay. And there was nothing. Nothing. Just nothing. Okay. That's great. I really wanted in that room, just to receive nothing.
Know what I love about travel? Learning new things about myself. Like my fear of heights.
Okay. What is this? Okay, the chain is so rusted it barely moves. So we got rust dissolver. Hey! You pour the contents of the vial onto the chain. The solvent hisses as it dribbles down, melting the rust into a slick brown puddle. The heavy chain squeaks with movement. And over here, the gearbox looks strangely empty, like it's missing a cog. Upon closer inspection, you see a thin layer of yellow slime coating the gearbox. Oh, that's where we did need the cog. Okay, so it was important we can, but no treasure. You slot the new cog into place. The mechanism looks ready to run now. Okay, and now we got the lever. I feel like a lever would probably be better than a torch or a pry bar. Clicks into place. And just pull it. The lift at last shudders into motion, lifting you towards the clouds. That's quite fast. The lift makes slow, jouncing progress. It lurches every few feet, the rusted chains groaning like the dead. It comes to a trembling stop, and the entire platform swings precariously. A sharp metallic odor emanates from one of the winches. You hear screeching. At first you think it's coming from the winch, but then you realize it's coming from above. An enormous skuldrak swoops from the shadows. You feel the air from its passage as it whooshes past you, but before you can catch more than a glimpse, it's circling back, searching for you with ear-splitting shrieks. Rustling wings and a heavy musk alert you to the presence of more of the beasts. As they close, the platform continues to sway and bounce. Alrighty. I don't know if we want to be at the edges of the platform. I feel like we want to be in the center. The largest skuldrak dives for the middle of the lift. Its screeches turn to hisses as it spews sizzling acid across the platform. It scalds you. Your own scream rings in your ears and you smell burning flesh. The smaller skuldrak zip past in tighter and tighter circles as they close. Meanwhile, the largest of the bunch is wheeling back, preparing for another attack. I guess we need to get moving. I'll do it myself. Smoke rises from the rattling, grinding winch. Repairing it will be a chore. In addition, the skuldrak sweep through the air above the platform, their ears swiveling and twitching as they listen for movement. I'll go. You scramble noisily toward the winch, your footfalls echoing in the dark shaft. The skuldrak pulls away from the pack and flits toward you, drawn by the ruckus. But you draw yourself up to your full height and throw your shoulders back. What? The skuldrak yelps and speeds past you, rejoining the pack. I just flexed at it and it's scared? You reach the winch and set to work on the jammed, rusted cogs within. The problem looks more complex than you'd hoped. You're not certain how long it will take you to fix the snarled mess of gears. Well, I'll fix it then, I guess. The largest skuldrak dives through the middle of the lift, its screeches turn to hisses as it spews sizzling acid across the platform. You hear a scream and smell burning flesh. The smaller school drac zip past in tighter circles as they close. Meanwhile, the largest of the bunch is wheeling back, preparing for another attack. Yet some of the creatures turn to the winch, their ears twitching at the clanging racket. It's not clear how much longer it will take to repair the device. My goodness. I guess we'll just have to defend. And make it stand in the center? The big school drac plunges toward the center, again spraying it with acid. Oh my goodness. It just keeps on happening. You howl in pain as it splashes you. The beast glides away and disappears into the shadows overhead. However, the smaller school drac land on the platform and advance toward you. Finally, we can fight the flying bastards. We're atop the battlements. Way up high. That's a lot of snow. Yeah, way up high. My goodness, look at those cannons, though. What long barrels they've got. Here's the elders.
Death to
Hopefully that's dealt with the entire nest. Dragon's Maw Shield. Engravings depict the Pargrunan's journey to the White March. Cannons are frozen and immobile. Okay. Now we just pull the levers to start the fires of the tower. You turn the wheel and a gust of steam blasts you in the face. You stagger back and fall, spiraling toward smoke and flame. You find solid ground beneath your feet, even as the air around you is a haze of smoke and heat shimmer. Coughing, you bat acrid fumes away from your face. As you acclimate to the soot-choked air, you see flames leaping in the distance. Each flare bathes you with warmth, and even as you struggle to pick out the details of this place, something about it seems familiar. You can see little through the thick smoke, but the dancing flames illuminate a dragon's head cast in stone. It's the White Forge. As you start toward it, something massive comes crashing down in front of you. You leap back at the sound of metal slamming into metal and feel a deep tone ring through the thick air. Recovering your bearings, you find yourself looking at an enormous hand. It's dark and shiny with heat, but you see every bone, muscle, and tendon working in harmony beneath the bronzed flesh. The hand's owner is hidden behind clouds of smoke, but the hand itself is wrapped around a pole as thick and sturdy as a tree trunk. Well, I know what the pole is. That's the hammer. Your arm, though. Try to follow the arm to its owner, but the heat and smoke overwhelm you. You turn back. You continue onward to see what lies at the other end of the pole and what's responsible for the clangorous music, just as the hand rises again. It swings back down in a perfect arc. A tower of metal smashes down ahead of you, raining sparks and glints of essence as another deep ringing note sounds. You realize that you are looking at an enormous hammer. The head glows with heat and essence, though the purple luster fades as soul energy is sucked from the hammer and into the work under it. Let's look at what he's working at. As the hammer rises once more, you dart forward to see what lies beneath it. A lone figure sprawls on an expanse of steel as smooth and broad as lake ice. The figure itself is enormous, a megfolk of twisted flesh and forged metal. Its arms end in two spiked clubs, and its head is a blunt, eyeless wedge. You've seen creatures like it at the Abbey of the Fallen Moon and the Iron Flails Ford. I didn't see one at the Abbey. Did I? I don't remember seeing one at the Abbey. It opens its mouth and keens. The desperation in that noise reminds you of a newborn's fear and confusion. Air rushes at your back. You look up and see the hammer, its head once more glowing with essence, speeding toward you. You awaken to the sensation of warm tiles beneath your face. You're prone before the boiler, which drones on, pushing heat through the tower floor. But in the vapor that pulses from the boiler and pipes, you smell the fumes of the White Forge. Yeah, this is
The
essentially
warmth
just
of
a
this
chimney.
boiler has made the cold less unbearable upon my flesh. Is it too soon to turn it off?
No, Zawa, we need this because we need the cannons. Imagine how far those cannons could shoot. Goodness gracious. That's what I call artillery. White Forge? I don't know. I don't know where the lady would be. Where's Wangra? It's Corbel. The dwarf gives you a quick nod as he smears the grease and soot from his fingers on his apron. The copper chain dangling from his ear sparkles red in the firelight. I know who you are. Wouldn't be in this place if it weren't for you. He rubs the chain on his ear, flashing a half smile. What can I do for you? I'm guessing you're the cook. I'm running the excavation of the lower levels and everything else around here. Supplies, kitchen quarters. When you need something, you go to me. Alright, let's see what stores you got, eh? There you are, Wangra.
That was incredible! Whole forge spit flames when you did whatever you did. And the smoke! Ha! I saw it from here.
That's good.
And now to see about these cannons.
Oh, yeah.
This is for you. Found it while we were cleaning out the battery.
What was
I
it?
tell you what, since you were so helpful in getting them fixed up, you can help me line up my targets.
Yup.
Out there's Karen's Scar. Great big lake. I'll have a good line of sight, so if you see something out there for me to destroy, you just point.
You have a good line of sight, huh? Just point. Alrighty. Hopefully that'll be useful. What's up, Ludgar? Well met, stranger. Wait, I know you. You're the one that cracked this jelly jar in the first place. He laughed and claps you on the back. In that case, well met, friend indeed. Thanks for the job. He leans forward to shake your hand. As he does, you notice that he's favoring his right leg, and his left hand is roughly bandaged. I shouldn't take too long, or I'll get an earful. What happened to you? Bad hip that got worse after night with Kulmar's rock cut. Oh my goodness gracious. It'll heal. Just gotta fix this place up before anything else falls apart. Well, at least there's progress being made. It'll get there. It'll get there. Finally back at Cadnua to take some... what the well holds. Oh. Quest expired pretty quickly. Just where was I? Right, we need some rest. We've had quite a few injuries. We're missing some limbs and stuff like that. Some good burns here and there. It's just rest. Ah, a nice warm bed. And there we've the calm before the storm in this episode of Pillars of Eternity. We have reclaimed our cannons atop the battery, and we have new tools and new allies with Adaric and everyone to help me take down the Eyeless. And from what I remember last time of the Eyeless, we'll want all that help. And I feel it's just the right time to do it, but I shouldn't wait any further. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command, and better tools will be found as you go along. This is Master Barkle from Brighthelm Recording, signing off.